Hey friends, it's Coach T, your seven-figure business strategist and marketing expert. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking all about social media. So I shared with you in the beginning that I created my own organic social media funnel. And I do teach this method to a lot of the students who are in my courses and programs. And so one of the things that is a pillar of that strategy is that every entrepreneur needs to pick two platforms that their ideal client hangs out on. Not the platforms they want to hang out on, but the platforms that their ideal clients are on, plus a Facebook group. And what we do with that is that you will spend time every week on those two social media platforms, and you will drive everyone to a housing place called your Facebook group. Now, there are a lot of people who have Facebook groups and they are not engaged. They tried Facebook group strategies before and they didn't work. And I completely understand. But there are strategies that you can utilize to actually make sure that your groups are staying engaged and that they are becoming a housing funnel. I'll tell you, something that we attribute to our success in all four distinct business areas is our ability to grow a Facebook group swiftly. So we generally teach students how they can grow a Facebook group by 500 in a matter of 30 days. And to go ahead and use that Facebook group to find their very best dream clients, okay? And one of the ways that after you build the Facebook group, that you keep it going and you keep finding clients all the time is by using other social media platforms. So whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, what have you, you've got to dedicate a certain number of hours that you will be on those platforms each week. Now, I am someone who thinks that it's more important to have quality time on a platform than a lot of time on the platform. So what I say is what you should be doing is spending a certain amount of time each day. You make your post, but even more than posting, I think a lot of people are fixated on this idea of posting. Even more than posting, you need to be fixated on connecting with people. A lot of you have forgotten that these are social media platforms, which mean that you can't just expect people to come to your platform, to your page, and then to interact with you there. You've got to go out and you've got to be connecting with people on their pages and on their platforms, looking for lookalike audiences of your ideal customer. So if you can think of your favorite customer of all time, what are some things that describe that customer? What are some hashtags that customer might use? What are some platforms that customer might hang out on? And do some reverse engineering so that you can go on social media platforms and find that same exact type of customer on various platforms and start forming relationships. Well, how do you do that? A lot of people say, how do you form the relationships? Well, it's going to be a mixture of you engaging with their content, liking their content, commenting on their content. But that's just step one. Step two is starting to form relationships. So as you see a pain point that this person has, introducing your products and services as a solution. Now, a lot of people think that means delivering a sales page. Wrong. It's delivering the first entry to your offer, which is something we'll talk about over the next several weeks. But in my case, that would be delivering a free something that provides a mini transformation to that customer at no cost to them. Whether that's a PDF, whether that's a video, whether that's some coupon code that gives them something for free, something like that, so that they can start getting a mini transformation. And what will happen is the customer will look at that mini transformation and say, wow, if I'm getting this type of transformation for free, wow, if I pay money, then I know that I'm really going to have a huge transformation. It's going to be a game changer. That's the difference. Now notice by using my method of first starting with something free, people's guards are down. They are more willing to have a conversation with you on social media platforms because it's not a gimme, 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 put your credit card in here, which is what everybody else is doing online. So if you're going to be differentiating yourself, it's important to start with the free offering. Now, this is the overview of how this method works, folks. But the other important thing is that you can't expect just to have a conversation with someone on social media and that be it. It's done, they're buying. While that does happen, while those are, great interactions, it doesn't always happen that way. And one of the things that you need to be thinking about is how do you continue to nurture people along the customer journey so that people who are not ready to do something today become someone who want to do business with you down the line. That's really what separates great entrepreneurs from other entrepreneurs. And by that, I mean, so if you're talking with someone today and you gave them a free something that provides a mini transformation, well, what's your follow-up strategy to see, well, how did it go? How did they like that? Was this thing that you gave them able to help them solve even a tiny iota of the pain point that they had? It's these types of things that we really need to be thinking about. And so when they come back and they say, yes, it was great. Well, what's the next step? How does the conversation continue to develop? That's one of the things. The other is, how many of you who are listening right now have talked to hundreds and thousands of people last year who were not yet ready to buy your services and products for whatever reason? And those very people you are no longer in touch with, even though if you had maintained touch with them right now, they could be paying customers of yours. See, what happens in business, especially in organic business, when people are using organic means on social media to get sales, is that there's a real disconnect with the continuum of staying engaged and staying current with the customer. Because we all know that what happens is people decide very often to buy with the very last person who had a touch with them. And if you want to stay relevant, you need to continually be at the precipice of everything they're thinking, whether that be a newsletter that you send out. And a lot of people say newsletters, that's a bit played out. Yeah, newsletters that don't provide value are played out. But maybe an interactive newsletter that's providing something that they really want and need, something that could really be transformational in their business, right? Something that should be paid because it's so damn good, but you're giving it to them for free. Having that sort of touch point, having a Facebook group that is constantly that you're engaging with, right? That you are continuing to educate and provide value in daily so that this person who's almost ready to buy but not yet ready to pull the trigger is in there every day learning from you. They are feeling every day like you are more and more of an expert, like you are the person who they need, and they will start making that decision and moving along the buyer's journey until they're purchasing something with you. Effective content strategies will look something like having a theme, right? So oftentimes a lot of entrepreneurs will not have any idea about what they're going to be promoting or offering 30 days from now, which is a really bad strategy, because if you don't know where you're going, then you can't reverse engineer and figure out what content, what themes, what free items, what newsletters need to be going out in those 30 and 60 days prior so that you have a warmed up audience. And these are all the types of things that need to happen to have a good organic funnel. But as we started talking about in the very beginning, a lot of you were saying, well, what social media platforms do I need to be on? And so I want to give my 2 cents about the social media platforms and kind of who I think they serve. Now, this is by no means a conclusive, showing of who should be on what platforms. But I'll just talk about some of the underestimated platforms first and foremost. So if I had to pick one underestimated platform right now, the first one would probably be TikTok. So TikTok is great. A lot of people say that TikTok is for, Gen Z people, maybe some millennials. It has to do with a lot of dancing for people who can't dance, for people who aren't young. It's not the platform. The answer is that that's totally wrong. There are over 200 million people on the platform that are over the age of 30. Most of you probably have an ideal client that is over the age of 30. That means you've got 200 million of them who could be your prospects on TikTok. TikTok doesn't have to be about dancing. What I like about it is the music, the viral themes, the viral challenges will allow you and your business to ride the wave, meaning you can get on those platforms and produce evergreen content where you are teaching and educating people about why they need your services and products. And then the very next thing is that they go on to your website or to your Facebook group and they learn more about what you teach. That required no dancing. But what you did get to do was ride the wave of the music and the types of content from a viral challenge that allowed you to just get in there right with everything else that's taking off and have a chance that your content is seen. So that's really interesting. TikTok is the only platform still, right now, the only platform where you could start out with literally 0 followers and tomorrow end up with 1 million views on a single piece of content that could sell out your products or services. So if you're somebody that doesn't have a large following, then this is probably a place for you to be because it's going to allow you to quickly get traction. Another place is Instagram. A lot of people are still thinking about Instagram in terms of static pieces of content that's on the grid. While that's important, I find that that's really a place for people who already have a really big, robust following. And if you are one of those people, congratulations. Good job. Keep going. But for a lot of you, including those of you who've done really well with static content, you need to be thinking about Instagram Reels. And the fact that the Instagram algorithm is showcasing your Instagram Reels to all types of people, not just your followers. You see, as most of you know, your static content is seen by those who follow you. And Instagram Reels are seen by everybody, which means that you've got an even bigger opportunity for other people who don't know anything about you and your brand to view you, to find you, and then start following you and go down the rabbit hole until they get to your website. Another silent sleeper would have to be, I would say, Clubhouse, which has been a platform that last year really took off. And then a lot of people started falling off the platform, which for a lot of you is good news because it means that there is space created and an opportunity created for you to get in as an expert in your field on the platform, even if your expertise was saturated before. Those people have probably fallen off. You could get on and really have an opportunity to get in front of the right audience. And we know that people on Clubhouse are really invested in education. They're really invested in learning. They're probably invested in spending money on themselves as well for the right services and products. That's another fantastic place to be. We have talked about Facebook groups. And a lot of people say, oh, Facebook groups, I don't need a Facebook group because I'm in other Facebook groups. But being in other Facebook groups doesn't allow you to be the expert. And what I want is for all of you to be able to position yourself as an expert. And if you form your own Facebook group, you continue to give content and education every week. You continue to connect with people in the group. You will find that those people become very hot leads for your business, people who inevitably go on to buy and to spend a lot of money with you. So, the next question is, well, how often should I be on all these platforms? Well, you should be on them as often as you are able to remain consistent. But you should be on the platforms at least 2 to 3 times a week so that you can build consistency and a rapport. But notice I talk about consistency because your audience will want to know when they can expect you to show up. They want to know where they can find you, when you'll be there. So that all of that's important. So those are just a few things to think about as you're starting to get ready. And as you're brainstorming which of the social media platforms you should be on, I want you to think about not where you are most comfortable, because remember, it's the new year anyway. We're not playing it safe. I want you to think about where your ideal customer hangs out. And I so often hear people say, well, I hate Facebook. I'm getting off that. Well, that's great that you want to get off Facebook, but if your customers are not yet ready to get off Facebook, I don't care. You should probably be in a Facebook group or on Facebook. Well, I don't like to dance, but if your audience likes to watch people dance and they like to hear viral music, you should probably be on those platforms. So we need to start thinking about things from that standpoint. And many of you will say, well, I don't know about those platforms. I don't know how things work. Well, not to worry. We are going to get into all of that right here. And if you're somebody who knows that they want to learn more about building an organic social media funnel, I've got good news, y'all. At the end of the month, I have a course that I'm teaching. We've got a limited number of spots, but it is free. And the course is called The Lucrative Pre-Launch, the Social Media Sales Funnel Training. And so for 3 days, we're going to talk about how you can build out your own unique sales funnel. And at the end of it, you're going to have a working sales funnel that you can start monetizing from immediately. So to sign up, I want you to check the notes section here. Look below. We're going to have a way for you to sign up. Sign up, get on it early, and make sure that you invite your friends. So with that being said, folks, I am going to see you on our next episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Bye for now.